Look at this. Tamika Townsell, PhD, is a professor who covers black representation. You're blatantly putting that this is about race. Caitlin Clark's popularity is tied to her whiteness.
Every single one of you WNBA players, you better pray that Caitlin Clark doesn't get injured, because she's keeping your league afloat.
We saw what happened last year. Caitlin Clark was targeted.
It finally happened. Forbes magazine just crossed the line, and this time, they did it with ink. In their latest article, they didn't just question Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA, they flat out tried to erase it.
The whole article is skewed and biased because it's the young white woman against these black athletes.
While millions tune in for her games, while arenas sell out and records shatter, Forbes decided to rewrite history, naming Angel Reese and A'ja Wilson as the driving force behind the league's growth.
But no one's tuning in to watch Angel Reese. It's just not happening. She's not Michael Jordan. She's not Magic Johnson. She's not Larry Bird. She's someone that taunted Caitlin Clark. Those are the facts.
But this wasn't journalism. It was race baiting wrapped in a headline. Instead of celebrating the player who brought women's basketball into the mainstream, they framed her success as a product of privilege.
Jealousy and envy and delusion all mixed together. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're delusional. People are watching these games because of Caitlin Clark.
The numbers say otherwise. The fans know better. And tonight, we're breaking it all down. How Forbes exposed their bias, why the media is turning this into a racial agenda, and why Caitlin Clark is still the only name keeping this league alive.
They decided to throw A'ja Wilson into this absurd article from Forbes talking about how A'ja Wilson and Angel Reese are leading the WNBA growth.
Forbes didn't just publish an article. They lit a match and threw it at the most popular athlete in women's basketball. The headline alone was designed to spark outrage, framing Caitlin Clark's rise as a product of whiteness and shifting praise toward Angel Reese and A'ja Wilson as the true builders of the WNBA.
A'ja Wilson and Angel Reese are the ones that's really growing the WNBA. Even the WNBA doesn't believe Angel Reese is growing the league on the court.
And in doing so, Forbes revealed what this was really about. It wasn't journalism. It was a calculated attempt to diminish Caitlin's success by turning it into a racial narrative. Let's be very clear. Caitlin Clark didn't stumble into fame. She earned it. From the moment she stepped onto a WNBA court, she started breaking records the league had only dreamed of.
WNBA's attendance had a record-breaking high in 20 years with a total of 2.3 million fans attending games. You know what the increase was from 2024 to 2023 in attendance? 48%. That's massive. That's the Caitlin Clark effect.
Phenomenon, yeah.
If Caitlin Clark gets injured, it's over with. Tom.
Attendance soared by 48% from the previous year. The WNBA reached 2.3 million in-person attendees, a number it hadn't touched in 2 decades. TV viewership exploded. Social media buzz reached global levels. And what changed? One thing. Caitlin Clark arrived. Yet Forbes wants to act like Angel Reese, who has a losing record, and A'ja Wilson, who's been in the league since 2018 without this kind of media presence, are the ones responsible for the league's newfound popularity.
A'ja Wilson's been in the league how long? She didn't even shake the needle. She didn't even slightly vibrate the needle.
That's not just misleading, it's insulting. The article deliberately downplays Clark's influence by pointing to social media stats. Sure, Reese has millions of followers on TikTok and Instagram, but those fans aren't buying tickets. They're not watching full games. They're scrolling, liking, and moving on.
Her niche is content creation. It's podcasting. It's TikTok and Instagram and all that, more than basketball.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has fans flying across the country just to sit in the nosebleeds. She has families planning vacations around Indiana Fever home games. She's not a viral trend. She's a movement. Even more ridiculous is how Forbes conveniently ignores the fact that Angel Reese is only as famous as she is because of Caitlin Clark.
It looks like we're going to have a repeat of 2024 when it comes to Caitlin Clark. The legacy media trying to poo-poo what it is Caitlin Clark has done for the league. She's the face of the WNBA already. She's the only one that really and truly moves the needle. Nobody would know who Angel Reese was without Caitlin Clark. Let us understand that.
Their rivalry in the NCAA is what made headlines. It was Clark's presence that elevated that championship game into one of the most watched events in women's basketball history. Without Caitlin, that game doesn't trend. That moment doesn't matter. And Forbes knows it. So why paint Clark as a symbol of racial favoritism? Why discredit her with dog whistles about privilege? Because they know she's become too big to ignore. They can't challenge her stats. They can't deny her impact, so they attack her identity.
All right, there's Caitlin getting off the bus. Yep, here we go. There she is on the court. She's wearing a uniform. That's right. So all these players are coming off, right? There's Angel again. They put out this video, and Angel Reese fans are madder than a hornet. Everybody's in uniforms but Angel. So this is crazy. Y'all didn't have one picture or video of Angel in her uniform. Reese fans complaining because they didn't see her in uniform, laughing my ass off. How about complain about them waste of time double-doubles that just got you losses and lots of them? Pathetic. They have posted a video of highlights involving last year's WNBA draft, and my God, her fans are livid now. Thanks to the WNBA for confirming what I've been screaming for a year.
This is why so many fans are furious. This isn't about basketball anymore. It's about framing, about taking the one player who saved the league from irrelevance and smearing her with accusations that have nothing to do with her game.
Is Clark even that active on her Instagram? I mean, I know it's a priority for like Angel Reese. I get that.
Forbes didn't write a critique. They published a hit piece. And in doing so, they exposed their own agenda. Not to report the truth, but to twist it. And Caitlin Clark? She didn't need to clap back. The numbers speak louder than anything that article had to say. The most infuriating part of the Forbes article isn't just what they said, it's what they deliberately left out.
Caitlin Clark is undoubtedly part of the reason why the WNBA broke multiple viewership and attendance records during the 2024 season. Caitlin Clark was first in viewership and attendance and gate revenue. There was no close second.
Instead of highlighting Caitlin Clark's record-shattering debut, her impact on ticket sales, or the surge in national attention she brought to women's basketball, they built an entire narrative around perception, not performance. According to them, players like A'ja Wilson and Angel Reese are leading the growth of the WNBA, not because of what they've done on the court, but because of activism, branding, and social media presence.
Do you know where A'ja Wilson got her eyes on her last year when she went out there and made those comments about being jealous of Caitlin Clark's popularity because Caitlin Clark was white?
That's right. Forbes is arguing that podcast appearances and Instagram deals matter more than actual wins, ratings, or fan turnout.
Wilson became a New York Times best-selling author in 2024 with the release of her book, Dear Black Girls, How to Be True to You.
Let's break that down. A'ja Wilson has been in the WNBA for 6 years. She's a 2-time MVP, a championship winner, and one of the league's most dominant players. But during her entire run before Caitlin Clark showed up, the league struggled for visibility. TV ratings were flat, attendance was low, games were often buried behind bowling tournaments and cornhole championships on cable TV.
Angel Reese is the most unskilled basketball player in the history of basketball, in my opinion. She has no skills. She knows that she's not a very good basketball player. That's why she spends so much time half naked and taking pictures and promoting things that have nothing to do with basketball.
This is Angel Reese, the content creator side. It's pretty clear basketball is her top priority. I cannot imagine how anybody could view this athlete in any other way. It's clear basketball is front and foremost. This is all helping with things like shooting better from the field and missing layups. She has no rhythm, just like she can't make a layup. Practice layups. OnlyFans incoming.
Wilson's talent is undeniable, but her presence didn't move the needle in the ways Caitlin Clark's has. And that's not a knock, it's reality.
Angel, who became the league's all-time leader in consecutive double-doubles, also extended her reach into fashion and podcast. Reese's brand blossomed before her professional career began, despite being selected 6 spots behind Clark. Her fans aren't basketball fans. They're not watching games. They're watching clips on TikTok and X.
Now let's talk Angel Reese. Forbes lauds her as a cultural force, citing her massive Instagram and TikTok following as proof she's building the game. But ask yourself, how many people are tuning in to watch her play? How many of her fans are actually showing up to Chicago Sky games? Because while she might be getting clicks on fashion videos or lip-sync reels, her team has been losing. Her double-double streak made headlines, sure, but it didn't translate to wins, and it didn't put fans in seats the way Clark has.
And I think in overall popularity, does her race play a factor? Nominal. Women's basketball has had a cornucopia of talented white and black women's basketballers. Elena Delle Donne is white, is she not? Sue Bird, white, is she not? Asia Wilson's black. Cynthia Cooper, black. Like, you can go back through, and it's actually a lot more. There's gay and there's straight. There's black and there's white. There's tall and there's short.
In contrast, Caitlin Clark, a rookie, has been leading the league in attendance, viewership, and merchandise sales. The Indiana Fever broke their all-time single-season home attendance record with over 340,000 fans packing arenas to see her play. And keep in mind, the Fever had one of the worst records in the league. That means people weren't coming for wins. They were coming to watch her.
What are we really talking about when it comes to moving the needle? Ratings on actual television still crush any bullshit clips or any of that other stuff. You played the victim, let all that go down, all that backlash, all that hate, and you didn't say a damn word.
And yet Forbes tries to brush her off as a product of privilege, as if she were handed fame because of her skin color, not because of her skill. They ignore the logo threes, the no-look passes, the clutch shots and relentless energy. They ignore the fact that every arena she steps into sells out, whether it's in Indiana, New York, or Los Angeles. She's not just a star, she's a draw, a true franchise changer.
She is highly likable. I think that lends itself to her popularity as she comes across as somebody that's really just respectful, likable. There's other players out there that just don't come across that way.
The article even goes so far as to praise Aja Wilson's book in activism as proof she's growing the league. That's like saying a sneaker line is more important than the person selling out games in them. Activism has its place. Brand building is valuable. But when it comes to what's actually fueling the WNBA's historic rise in 2024, there's one undeniable fact. Caitlin Clark is the engine.
But I love my teammates so much that I will take any hit from them. Good, bad, ugly. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to be the best. I get y'all saying best player in the world. That's great. It looks great.
I think it's a huge thing. I think a lot of people say it's not about black and white, but to me, it is. It's really because you can be the top notch at what you do as a black woman, but maybe there's something that people don't want to see. Wilson said to the Associated Press.
One of the more interesting aspects of this fanhood is that some of the biggest supporters of Caitlin Clark are not whites. They're actually black male.
What Forbes did was attempt to redirect that spotlight by leaning into identity politics. They didn't celebrate black athletes on the merit of their play. They framed the success of a white player as evidence of systemic bias. And that's where they lost all credibility, because this isn't about race.
Becker's $2.2 million and Caitlin Clark $3.1 million are among the biggest brands in the new era of visibility in women's basketball. There's just one player whose social media following surpasses them both, Angel Reese. Reese's 4.8 million Instagram followers with another 5.5 million on TikTok. Endorsement deals and content creation show that black women, including Asia Wilson and Candace Parker, are still at the forefront of the WNBA's growth. The statistics do not support your claim.
It's about results. Caitlin Clark didn't come into the WNBA asking for the spotlight. She earned it by dominating the conversation, drawing in fans, and delivering on the court. The truth is simple. Forbes couldn't deny her numbers, so they tried to redefine her narrative. But no headline, no article, no carefully curated paragraph can erase what the scoreboard, ticket scanners, and record books already prove. Caitlin Clark isn't a product of privilege. She's the product of excellence.
She's literally bragging about the unrivaled at the bottom. They drew 180,000 viewers a game, and you're taking victory laps on the unrivaled at the end of this article? All you need to know was what I started with. Black representation. A lot of times Forbes does better than this.
If Forbes wanted to hide from the facts, here they are. Short, sharp, and impossible to ignore. Caitlin Clark led the Indiana Fever to break their all-time home attendance record with over 340,000 fans showing up. Despite the team having one of the worst records in the league, 2 of the most watched games in WNBA history, she played in both. Her jersey, the top seller in the entire league. Her impact, measured not in social media clout, but in sold-out arenas, primetime viewership, and real-world dollars. Meanwhile, Angel Reese boasts millions of followers on Instagram and TikTok, but her fans aren't watching full games or buying tickets.
Her niche is content creation. It's podcasting. It's TikTok and Instagram and all that. More than basketball. Is Clark even that active on her Instagram? I mean, I know it's a priority for like Angel Reese. I get that.
Her popularity is digital. Caitlyn's is physical, emotional, and measurable. Even the WNBA left Angel out of gameplay highlights, quietly admitting where the real basketball star power lies. And endorsements? Caitlin Clark isn't landing niche deals. She's working with global giants like Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, and Goldman Sachs. These brands don't chase hype. They invest in greatness. So while Forbes tries to twist the narrative, the numbers keep telling the truth.
Caitlin Clark, Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, Wilson, Hy-Vee, Xfinity, Cambridge, Lilly, Panani, Bose, Buick, H&R Block, Topps, Shootaway, Goldman Sachs.
Caitlin Clark is the reason the WNBA is booming. Not because of privilege, not because of skin color, but because she's the biggest draw in women's basketball, period. Forbes can write all the opinion pieces they want. They can twist narratives, push agendas, and try to stir controversy with race-based framing.
Beckers and Clark are the kinds of players that force opposing teams to level up their game. Paige Beckers is just thrown in here. Don't know why.
But at the end of the day, the numbers don't lie, and the fans know better. Caitlin Clark didn't just walk into the WNBA, she transformed it. She brought record-breaking attendance, skyrocketing TV ratings, and a wave of fan engagement the league has never seen before. Not because of the color of her skin, but because of the power of her game.
There's so many players who cite you as an inspiration for their games, including Caitlin Clark, who's just absolutely a phenomenon in college. What's that next step like for her?
You know, next steps, gosh, in this generation, right? You have, I think, just so many more challenges of how to handle yourself as an adult, right? You go through that whirlwind of being a senior in college, transitioning into the W. And then the next step is how to become just an even better leader. And so much of leadership, I think, is listening and learning. And hopefully the more she can get connected to vets in the league and just different people and coaches and anyone that she can glean wisdom from of how to just continue to learn how to be as a connected and inspiring leader as she can be. And a lot of that is walking the walk and not just talking the talk. So she's already on her way, but, continuing to have fun, continuing to anticipate how people are going to try to stop her and being prepared as she can be for next season.
While others chase clout, she chases greatness. While some cry for attention, she earns it. She's not out here playing the victim. She's playing basketball at a level that's forcing the world to pay attention. And that's why no article, no agenda, and no media spin will ever change the truth. If you're with Caitlin, if you see through the noise, drop Caitlin GOAT in the comments and subscribe for more videos that bring the facts, not the fluff. Because no matter what the headlines say, Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA, and the world is watching.
She signed my jersey! So happy, I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT.
He was asked about Caitlin Clark.
Coach Krzyzewski, listen to what he said.
Yeah, well, she's terrific. And it'd be easy to build something on her because she's very young. The best thing she does is pass. She's a magical passer, and she has a great feel for the game. So, I mean, what her coach did, I would have done exactly what she did. Make sure she handles the ball a lot, and she'll make everybody better. And what I was amazed with at how she's handled all the defenses. And then when she got into the WNBA, some of the negativity that was out there or jealousies. And I think she's just been remarkable. She's a really good basketball player. Yeah.